Millie Alcock has been seemingly cast in the role of Supergirl in the upcoming James Gunn movie, Superman, and fans are excited and worried. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. Long before even David Corenswet had been finalized for the role of Superman in the James Gunn movie, rumors had started spreading that Millie Alcock was going to be a part of the film. Well, it does seem that James Gunn is carefully planning his every move and has handpicked actors to cast in his upcoming DCU flick, Superman. Millie Alcock, who found worldwide fame as Princess Rhaenyra Targaryen in HBO's House of the Dragon, is allegedly a part of the DCU. Rumors and speculation hint that Alcock will be joining David Corenswet and Rachel Brosnahan in the upcoming James Gunn movie, and people cannot be more excited about it. However, it could also be a double-edged sword since Gunn might just indirectly recreate the 2013 Zack Snyder film Man of Steel. Despite the lack of updates, fans were still quite happy about Alcock's new role. However, recent speculations hint that Millie Alcock will play Supergirl in the upcoming James Gunn film Superman. Well, although Alcock wasn't a part of Gunn's Superman, it was announced that the actress had been cast in the role of Supergirl in the upcoming DCU movie Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. Speaking of James Gunn, the alleged inclusion of Millie Alcock's Supergirl can cause some problems within the film. Gunn might just accidentally copy the famous storyline picked up by Zack Snyder for his 2013 film Man of Steel. This little post has gotten people excited and riled up for what's about to come in theaters. David Corenswet has been accepted as the new Superman, and despite fans loving Henry Cavill more, they are excited to see what Gunn is capable of. That is also the time when Zack Snyder decided to break Superman's rule and make him kill a character. The point is that Superman, being a Kryptonian, fought against another Kryptonian at the end of the movie. In 2013, the world saw Henry Cavill donning Superman's cape for the first time in Man of Steel. The film follows the story of Superman's origins and the fight between him and General Zod. Well, Millie Alcock's alleged addition as Supergirl could have similar results if James Gunn decides to show an epic showdown between Superman and Supergirl. It can be a double-edged sword, but Gunn could break the bank by following in Zack Snyder's footsteps. Only time can tell whether James Gunn's DCU will be able to outdo Zack Snyder's DCU, or will it just be another failed attempt at reviving a cinematic universe that has already suffered so much? With that being said, these are only speculations, and nothing can be confirmed or denied at the moment. James Gunn made a key change to the new Superman trailer after fan feedback, proving he listens, unlike Zack Snyder. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. When the first Superman teaser dropped, fans were excited, but it was not without critique. One particular moment from the teaser sparked a wave of online buzz. A scene where someone throws a can at David Corenswet's Superman, and instead of simply walking it off like the true invincible hero he is, Superman visibly blinks, or in other words, he flinches. The new Superman trailer is out, and if there is one thing to take away, it's that James Gunn just gets it. From the first few seconds in, it already feels hopeful, exciting, and moving. There is something refreshing and different about this take on the Man of Steel, and the fans are all in for it. The new trailer feels familiar yet bold, and still carries the emotional weight without being too heavy-handed, and is filled with exactly the kind of vibe DC fans have been chasing for a while. It was a step in a different direction from the usual dark and eerie tone Zack Snyder brings, whether it's the brighter tone, the hopeful energy, or the careful attention to iconic details. The best part about the trailer definitely has to be the fact that, unlike Zack Snyder, James Gunn actually listens to his fans and made an important change in the trailer that made a lot of fans happy. Gunn is not only paying attention to fan feedback, but is willing to act on it, and this is not something we get to see in the movie scene. The last notable change to a character on popular fan demand was the change to Sonic the Hedgehog. This change made fans feel more inclusive to the movie, and it looks like we will be getting a movie from someone who actually likes to keep things genuine. Now, for fans who have been following the comics and are deeply rooted in the DC lore, they were not happy to see this minute detail being messed up. Fans argued Superman flinching was an insane undersell to his legendary status, and were quick to take it to social media, filled with memes, criticism, and side-by-side comparisons to past versions of the character who wouldn't flinch under fire, so flinching at the soda can did not make sense, unless it was made of kryptonite. But after the teaser was released, and a sweet amount of time passed, we got the new teaser on May 14th, and to the surprise of many, James Gunn took the feedback seriously. In the full trailer released recently, that same scene has been slightly adjusted, and this time, David Corenswet, who is playing Superman, does not flinch. This was a subtle change, but it left the jaws of fans on the floor. James Gunn's new Superman trailer is already making waves, racking up over 2 million views in its first hour and emerging as one of DC and Warner Brothers' most well-received trailers yet, only adding to the growing excitement among fans. The viewers cannot get enough of the blend of action, emotional depth, and a fresh take on the Man of Steel. Even the fact that many see a similarity between David Corenswet and the legend Christopher Reeve cannot be ignored. The instance in the movie where Clark Kent is getting interviewed by Lois Lane, and as he is getting frustrated with her questions, you can see him seemingly transitioning from Kent to Superman, really adds to the whole vibe of the movie. With a hint of the original score, the movie is shaping up to be legendary, and the trailer is only adding to the anticipation of the movie. Superman might be James Gunn's first step into the new DCU, but the DC Extended Universe casts a large shadow in its latest trailer. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. Be it Superman being framed against the sun, or the character having to go through human red tape to do even the most basic of world-saving activities, Superman from the DCU seems like a rehash of what fans have seen in the DCU. Apart from the character's demeanor, which is overall pretty different from his previous iterations, there seem to be a lot of similarities in the visual languages of Superman and Man of Steel. When looking at fan reactions to James Gunn's Superman, it was evident that the general consensus for the upcoming film was that it is a return to form. There has been a lot of comparison between the Man of Steel that Zack Snyder had chiseled for the DCU and the Superman that James Gunn will be putting on screen in July. However, one cannot help but look at the similarities that are present visually in the trailer, which harken back to how Zack Snyder had framed Henry Cavill's iteration of the character. As different as David Corenswet plays Superman when compared to Henry Cavill, Snyder's fingerprints are all over Superman. Superman, much like his previous counterpart, seems to be caught in litigation for doing what he does best, saving people. The line of questioning that Lois Lane presents also points towards the fact that public sentiment is mostly against Superman, something that Zack Snyder also depicted in his works. Lex Luthor employing superheroes for his nefarious plans and stealing Kryptonian tech also seems like something ripped right out of BVS, Dawn of Justice. While the DCU's Superman might act differently, and exist in a world truest to his comics, the parallels are undeniable when the comparison is drawn between James Gunn's and Zack Snyder's iterations of the character. James Gunn has been able to deliver pretty great work when it comes to superheroes, but Superman is unlike any of the films that Gunn has made. It is expected that there would be some concepts that would be carried over from the DCU, given that it did have some deep imagery that could serve the stories that Gunn is trying to tell. Man of Steel, despite how much critics hate it, has actually left a pretty big mark on the superhero genre in film. It is undeniable that the film has been echoed by more than a few superhero shows